global warming issue? No, it takes every country in order to solve that. How are you going to get every country to be talking? United Nations. Regional issues, such as what's going on in the Sudan with Darfur. That's not just a national problem, it's a regional problem because you have so many refugees that have been going over into Chad. You've got other border skirmishes kind of around the Sudan.
Don't they still talk about it like nationally, globally?
Well, we talk about it in the UN because the region that Sudan is in, they're incapable of handling it themselves. That African Union force, how many of you read about the African Union force? That's the African army that's been in Darfur when you were doing your Crimes Against Humanities. Were they effective at all?
No, they weren't.
No. So because they weren't effective, we needed to go in to the UN and get help because regionally they couldn't handle it. Sometimes we ask for help from the UN on national issues, such as when there are mass disasters, tsunami hits, a major earthquake, something like that. We look to these organizations, like for instance when Italy had that big massive earthquake earlier this year. The EU went in and helped, and some NATO forces went in and helped. So we look to our organizations that we have joined in order for support. And it's because the fact that we have reached that point technologically where if we had another war, and it was truly a war between equals, we would probably make half of the world radioactive. So we have to find another solution. So do you guys understand question one a little bit more? Ashley?
So basically, like, because technology has become so advanced, like we've reached the point where fighting is no longer an option.
Exactly. So if you have something along the lines of due to technological advantages, warfare is no longer an option to diplomacy, you've got the basis for your whole paper there. And that could be pretty much your thesis. And you just explain, and then you just go through the course of, you have one paragraph talking about the changes in technology, and then you have a second paragraph taking a look at problems that exist today and how warfare wouldn't be the solution for it.
Wait, do you have to, so you then write what would be?
Yeah, so if I had to outline it out, my first body paragraph would be timeline of technology. So I would go World War I into Cold War today. What's happened to technology? Body paragraph 2. Problems today. And I'd probably make reference to child soldiers and nuclear terrorism. And the fact cannot be solved through warfare. And so you got a 4-paragraph essay. Because intro and conclusion.
You leave that up for a while.
For a while. 4 paragraphs?
Oh, that's right, because it's a
Yeah,
short
intro and
message.
conclusion. Yeah, these are like a page and a half.
12.
So then can you, I guess you
nine.
could have it incorporated in your conclusion, but go on to say how like we need the other, like the organizations such as like.
Well, that's also something that's going to be in body paragraph number 2. If it can't be solved through warfare,
Right,
why
so
can't
then why?
it? It needs to be done through the various organizations. In your conclusion, you can actually give the opinion as to whether or not you think these organizations are being effective in any way, or whether perhaps now that we've realized warfare is not an option and we have to go to diplomacy, maybe we realize we need better institutions to actually institute diplomatic measures to solve problems. Because maybe the UN isn't the best way of doing it. Maybe the UN needs structural changes. And that's total opinion. But where I'm looking for content is the timeline of technological advances, and then try and bring in what you learned from the Model UN, the child soldiers, nuclear terrorism, and the fact that warfare is not the option to solve this. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the second question.
Did we put like
Wait,
facts in
second,
our
no,
outline? Do we want to remember?
Yes, all right, in your outline, thesis statement, topic sentences are the only sentences, like full, complete sentences you can have, unless you're putting in a direct quote. And so obviously the direct quote is going to be in quotation marks, and you're going to have where you got the quote from. Everything else, bullet note, but you can definitely bullet note trench warfare, automatic guns. Yeah, as long as they're, but remember, bullet notes aren't complete sentences.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I could bullet note the trench warfare, the Gatling gun, the tanks, intercontinental ballistic missiles, Cuban Missile Crisis, the fact that missiles are missing, we've got other kind of rogue nations developing. I can put all of that in there.
Cool.
Okay. All right, let's look at the second question here. What are you looking for?
Nothing.
Okay, second question. Which of the following movements was more historically significant since 1750? Industrial Revolution, urbanization, women's rights movement, or decolonization? And explain your choice by describing the effects of civilization using the Virgil plus GT model.
Industrial revolution.
All right, so,
Because it affected all of them.
all right, you're voting for the Industrial Revolution. If you hit the red bullseye on anyone, I will not use the laser.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do anything.
I don't trust you.
This red bullseye here.
Yeah, well, considering Grant gave it to him, Grant deserved it there.
Look at him. Grant's hurt now.
All right. So I have a vote for Industrial Revolution. Anyone want to vote for a different one?
Whatever Elizabeth is saying.
Which one is more? Which one has the most historic significance? Industrial Revolution, urbanization, women's rights movement, decolonization.
Women's rights movement.
Women's or
So-
industrial?
Industrial.
How many of you vote Industrial Revolution?
I vote twice.
All right, we have enough people. We're doing Industrial Revolution.
Counting my phalanges.
All right, but you can follow this kind of basic pattern regardless of which one you pick.
So this was the second one?
What do you
Yes, this is
think
for the
it was?
second of the two short essays.
Oh wait, if you're grading this, I'm gonna do women's rights.
Oh, actually, you got yeah.
Women's rights isn't necessarily the most historic one in my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, two industrial?
All right, so we're picking the Industrial Revolution. This
You're
is,
grading this.
Well, I mean, like.
honestly, I picked all of them because I think you can make a legitimate argument for each one. All right, Industrial Revolution. Think of Persia. How did the Industrial Revolution affect politics? Or any one of these. You can call it any letter and tell me how it affected.
Oh, economy.
Yeah.
All right, economy.
I was gonna say.
Economic boom, economic boom.
You always steal my ideas.
Because of like factories.
All right,
What?
we have a higher standard of living. Anything else? Economic.
Larger middle class.
Large
Social,
middle
no,
class.
social, what happened to social?
Urbanization.
All right, let's put down social.
Yeah, but also it wasn't like there were a larger gap between the poor and the.
Yeah, do it all, do it all.
Alright,
Yeah.
Just go up there and teach us.
should I?
Yeah, just tell us go on.